price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters. Welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I am your host, Afro Elite. Before we get started, please make sure that every single last one of you guys hit that like button, subscribe button, share button, all of that. We're a little behind schedule this evening. We are a little behind schedule, but I sincerely appreciate every single last one of you all for staying here, for waiting and everything. There was just a couple of little technical things that I wanted to iron out right before we got on so we can have a super clear stream. You know, everything is going to be, you know, super good, super fresh. All right, has everything going. Just, you know, every time I rearrange stuff a little bit, something might get unplugged or whatever the case is. So I was trying to make sure that didn't happen. We got over 30 people in here and we starting off late. So I appreciate every single last one of you all. Yeah, see the angles a little bit, yeah, because I was doing a little bit of tidying up around here and some stuff got moved around, but that's fine. We're here now. We are here. All right. I mean, it's some of y'all, yeah, some of y'all need to refresh your pages. Everybody needs to refresh their page. Let's refresh the pages, right? Okay. So everybody's in here. We're all coming here. Let me preference this. Let me set this up by saying this. There is, and this is going to be a theme. This is going to be a theme. There is a time and a place for everything. There is a time and a place for everything. And there are limits and expectations, limits and exemptions that you have when it comes to certain things. There are certain things that should not collide with other things. There are certain people who should not be in certain places. There are certain things that go on that can go on in a specific setting that should not go on in another setting or in another place or at another time. Okay, this is how society has always ran. We run into major issues when we find that these things are starting to collide, because these things are not supposed to collide. These things are not supposed to mix. All right. That's when we run into a really big problem. We run into a really big issue. Okay. So let me start off by saying that for the sake of protecting the channel, this is not a bullying of anybody. This is not a bullying of Sexyy Red. This is not to say Sexyy Red is dooming the community. It's not to say that. However, this is to say that there is a destructive issue going on, all right, that's being pushed by the industry on the Black community that we will discuss. So let me start off by getting this out the way so we can protect the interest of the channel. You all know that we have to do that. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, all right, check this out. I'm just getting some stuff, a little bit of stuff ready. Check this out. Hold on. Why is it not? Okay. Now my technical stuff is messing up on me. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Put me, I came up here, got you.
This is not Sexyy Red. Let me preface this. Let me let y'all know. The rapper Sexyy Red went to a high school and to do a performance. Some people saying she wasn't going to do a performance. She was just going to visit. No, she was going to do a performance similar to the one she did the other time she went to the school, but we'll discuss that later. She was going to do a performance at the school. That's what it is. Folks trying to make it seem like it's something that it isn't and rewrite the story, repaint the narrative. That's what she came up there to do. That's what she does. She didn't go there to give a motivational speech. She's not known for that. She went up there to perform at a school. She was turned around and said she could not enter the school or be on school grounds because she smelled like weed. She gets back in her vehicle and then she starts going on an Instagram rant, which is what you see here. All right. If I'm looking down, that's because I'm setting some stuff up.
So look, so this school put me. I came up here, got you, trying to talk to the kids, getting the word of that. They gonna put me on me. Tell me I smell like weed. Watch this. He gonna try to get mad. Fuck that old man. I don't give a fuck about making his job hard. My job hard. Fuck. Every day I'm fighting for my life. Every day. Bitch, you're nobody.
Bitch, like I'm finna sit with your
they ain't come to see you, Otis.
Otis?
Bitch. You heard who they screaming for. Hiya.
That's
Brother fuck my head up.
I ain't gonna hop down on that. Oh, smack that motherfucker.
They tried to put me out from this school.
Pussy nigga, bless me.
I'm coming back around that bitch. I don't want me in that bitch. Guess what? I'm finna cause a riot.
Okay. Now, a lot of people didn't listen to the thing that she said the very, very last time that she's finna come around and have and start a riot. Okay.
Nigga, bless me.
I'm coming back around that bitch. I don't want me in that bitch. Guess what? I'm finna cause a riot.
Now, let's think about this. Actually, that's the end of the video. So let's get this off. Damn, my lens off. Okay. So a lot of people are asking if Sexyy Red, if her target audience isn't kids, if it's not children, why is she getting so upset? Because she's very upset. Very, very upset. Now, if it's something that she did not want to do, why did she get so upset about it? Now, in order for us to do this, let's go back, because I want to play this back a little bit further to the other time that she went into school, because this agenda. And when I say the Sexyy Red agenda, I don't mean it's all on Sexyy Red. For the people who are like, it's not all on her, though. For the people who are going to cry and the Sexyy Red defenders, I don't need the Sexyy Red defense squad coming at me. I need y'all to have a little bit of comprehension, because this isn't just about her. This is about everybody involved in this situation. So I need y'all to understand that. But I want to go back, and I want to go to the other thing. We got 100 views in here. Y'all know what it is. I want to go back to the other time that she was at a school. All right. So this is the other time that she went to a school. I wish it was cropped a little bit better. Okay. I had to stop it right there because they started playing music and all that, and I don't, don't want that to get in trouble. Y'all make sure we start off a little bit late. I appreciate we already got 100 people in here. Less than 10 minutes. So I need every single last one of you guys, if you would please do me the most honorable favor you can and hit that like button. Also, if you don't mind, also leave a share as well too. I would so sincerely greatly appreciate you all for doing that. So she went to a school before. Okay. She went to a school before, and there was an outrage about it. Check this out. And now this comes from XXL. Say cut the volume down. I mean, I could have cut the volume down, but I wanted it really, I stopped it right before the music was playing anyway, because they didn't even let that happen. Now, it's a lot of people. Now, she went to school. We already played that part. Then this is where the controversy starts to really, oh my God. This is where the controversy really starts to kick in a little bit. It says, Sexyy Red's video has been viewed over 5 million times on Twitter, but the clip has also sparked outrage from fans who felt that Red's music is inappropriate for a high school setting. Many people thought Red was performing at the school, but that wasn't the case. Now, this is XXL magazine trying to save face for Sexyy Red, because now I want to show you something. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Let me show you. All right. They said, oh, well, you know, she wasn't really performing. She just came to, I guess, say what's up to everybody. And that's kind of really it. She wasn't really performing. I'm trying to make it bigger so it can be somewhat. Okay. It is what it is. We're just going to have to zoom in like this. All right. Now, they said she was not performing, but I want to play this again. Now, when she walked in, they started playing her music, which we're not playing her music. We're not playing her music whatsoever, but they started playing her music. And I want you to see that she walks in with a microphone in her hand. They're playing her music as she's walking in, and she's walking in with a microphone in her hand. She was there to perform. Okay. Just a little bit so you can kind of see the microphone. You see the fact that she's walking in with a mic already prepared with a microphone in her hand. She came there to perform at the school. So XXL magazine is like, well, hold on. Now, she didn't come there to perform. What was she there to do then? What was she there to do? With a microphone in her hand and her music playing. You could almost make the argument that, well, you know, she just came to talk, but she didn't come to talk because her music was playing. And as the kids, I'm not even risking it this time. I'm just fast forwarding. As the kids were rushing the stage, she was behind her security performing. So that's what she was doing. So this whole thing of, well, hold on, you don't know. Sometimes celebrities just go to visit the kids and all. Okay, sometimes maybe that's the case. But in this case, that's not what was going on. That's not what she was doing. Clearly, that's not what she was doing. So, going back to the magazine, the article from the magazine, all right? So we already know what that was. That's just a lie that we can prove when you look at the video close enough. It's a lie you can prove. Okay. Then it says, not Sexyy Red having an appearance at a high school. I just want to know what principal approved that. LOL. One fan wrote. Another one going down. Another commenter tweeted, quote, I like some Sexyy Red songs, but she shouldn't be performing at any high school with those songs. Sorry. Woman shrugs her shoulder emoji. That's, you know, the shrug your shoulder emoji. All right. So now I want you to understand, this ain't about, well, why you just hating on Sexyy Red? This ain't about that. All right. Another one going down. Hold on. I gotta click. Okay. Another one going, a third person wrote, quote, none of Sexyy Red's lyrics are high or middle school appropriate. Imagine singing my coochie pink, my booty hole brown in front of 13, 17-year-olds. And then it's the three laughing, the laughing emojis, you know. So a lot of people are, you know, these are some of the tweets. All right. And a lot of parents, now this magazine is not really going to show you all of them. And I picked this one because it actually does show you some of the differences in the tweets, which is what we really need to discuss, because this is a very big, very big problem. Another one wrote, another user believed that the backlash Sexyy Red received from being in high school is too much about nothing. Is much to do about nothing. Now, here, Lord, and we're gonna have to. This is a problem. Y'all brace yourselves, because then you got the defense squad who feel like any person who is a female can do no wrong. Okay. So then scrolling down, it says, I'm gonna just read it straight off. Male rappers legit go to high schools all the time with women hating with women hating ass songs. Y'all complaining about an old video of Sexyy Red going to a high school to give out prom money. What a dumbass bunch. Okay. So you got folks who sitting up there because Sexyy Red is a female. Because Sexyy Red is a female. Somebody said, look at the flag. Hey, I can't hide it. Can't hide it. Can't hide it. Okay. Can't hide that fact. Now, that's very important to keep in mind, too. When you looking at the flags, and when I tell you guys, y'all know my thing. When I tell you guys, keep something in mind, keep it in mind, because it's going to be relevant coming up later. It is going to be relevant coming up later. So I want y'all to keep in mind that was going on, that was being said about the school thing. Just check something real quick, because I don't know why it seems as if my lighting is kind of off a little bit, but it's okay. It seems as if my lighting is kind of off, but that's okay. So the whole thing of there's male rappers who do the same thing too. There's male rappers who do the same thing too. I want you to name the male rapper version of Sexyy Red. Because first off, to be honest, a lot of times when you do have rappers who do make adult content go on, there's always going to be some controversy. There's always going to be some outrage. If Lil Wayne went to elementary school, there's going to be parents who are like, well, Lil Wayne is not really, his content isn't really for elementary school children, so he shouldn't be there. You're always going to have that. All right. That's always going to be the thing. But Sexyy Red is on a whole nother level. You can't even really make a legitimate defense because there is no male version of Sexyy Red. The closest, to be honest, the closest person I can think to like a male version of Sexyy Red is like Kevin Gates, if you guys know who that is. Because Kevin Gates be saying some very raunchy, like wild stuff. But he's still not. He's still not. And this ain't the fact that, oh, well, y'all just saying that because he's a man. No. Sexyy Red, for y'all who don't know, literally has a sex tape out. I'm talking about this shit. Sexyy Red only has, let me take this off for a little bit so I can really like connect with you guys with this. The only music that Sexyy Red ever makes is like strip club music. It's not like Sexyy Red. I would almost be more willing to make the argument if it was like a Nicki Minaj, who I still would kind of disapprove of going to a high school, or like a Cardi B, who I would still disapprove of going to a high school. I would disapprove of them going to a high school. I would disapprove of Lil Wayne going to a high school, or I would disapprove of Lil Durk going to a high school, or Chief Keef going to a high school. I mean, these are minors. Keep that in mind. I would disapprove of all of them going to a high school. Okay. But I'm going to be honest. The music that the female rappers make, Nicki Minaj, Meg Thee Stallion, all of these people, none of them are as like bottom tier raunchy and on the verge of like just degenerate damn near as none of them. You really can't make that. All of them have at least a couple of songs that are not like super raunchy. All of them do. Sexyy Red, now some people are gonna be like, she's new. Sexyy Red is incredibly one-dimensional, where she only makes one type of song, and those are strip club songs, which, like I said, you can make the argument that there's a time and a place for that. because some people made the argument that, oh, we've always had raunchy songs, we've always had this. Exactly. Low vibrational, that's another one. All of them are ratchet and low vibrational, but none of them are as consistently, exclusively, and as low as Sexyy Red is, from the way I see it. None of them are, and none of them would I approve of going to a school, but none of them are that level of it. Okay, the thing is that when you have that, and let's use a little bit of comprehension for the people who are like, there's always been that though, because there's some people who are saying that it's always been that. But the thing is, the problem with that is the fact that there is a time and a place for that. Let's be honest, 50 years ago, there was sexual songs out there. There was adult themed there's been adult themed content for generations now. We're not going to sit here and act like all of the content. We're not going to sit here and act like all of the content has been kid friendly up until recently. There's always been adult themed content. It always has. However, there has always been a very strict barrier between adult themed content, whether that's music, whether that's movies, whether that's other types of videos, all of that stuff. There's always been a barrier of where adult themed content is supposed to be, and then where children themed content is supposed to be. And then you had like a little level in between, like 13 plus or whatever. There's certain things you would let like a 13, 14-year-old watch that you wouldn't let a 7-year-old watch. You know what I'm saying? So there's different levels to it, but there's always been a thing of, oh, you know, if you're coming in to a movie theater and you're not 18, you can't see this movie. You could be 16 years old. Oh, you can't see this movie without adult supervision. That's a part of the barrier between, okay, this is where the line gets drawn. Nowadays, you have an agenda of people, and Sexyy Red is a pawn in this agenda because she's not doing this on her own. She's a pawn in the agenda. Okay? She's really the biggest one as of right now, but she is the pawn in the agenda. You have an agenda to blur the lines between where certain things should be and where certain things shouldn't be. Okay? You got folks who are at the strip club, and this ain't bullying or anything like that, but strippers at a strip club and their performances, their dances are not the same dances that should be at a high school talent show or elementary school talent show. It shouldn't be there. The type of dancing that they do is not there's a very important barrier that needs to stand still, that needs to not move, that needs to not be blurred between the dances that they do and the dances that you'll see at like a little ballerina or a little cheerleading thing for like some type of high school game. You don't see those types of dances. Yeah, they'll dance or whatever, but the dances that they do is very different, and it needs to stay that way. And we have an agenda of people who are trying to blur the lines and be all like, well, why can't the cheerleaders twerk too? I mean, is just dancing. They're trying to blur that line. If you guys remember, and how you know this is a part of an agenda, remember Netflix had and I did a video on this like 3 years ago almost. Netflix had a special that was canceled called Cuties, and in the special, and the video is still up, I believe. In the special, they had it to where minors were, I guess, joining together. It was some minors. The main character was a little black girl. Keep that in mind. Pay very close attention to the main character being a little black girl at the time in the show, and in real life, she's 12 or 13 years old. Okay. And she joins a part of this group, and the group goes around, and they're supposed to be dances like little kid stars or whatever, but they're doing a lot of stripper-like dances, a lot of inappropriate dances for little girls that age. They're not just doing little backflips and cartwheels and all that stuff. They're like literally twerking at that age. And the description was even saying that. It was even saying that. So when the trailer dropped and a bunch of parents got on it, and the parents started pushing back so much, Netflix had to can the whole thing. I don't know if it was a miniseries or a movie. I think it was a movie or whatever. Netflix had to can the whole thing because what they're trying to do, and there's certain word that you don't like me to say, but what they're trying to do, family, is to blur the lines between where things shouldn't be and where things should be. And who do you think are going to be the victims if this line is blurred? If there's no line between adult stuff and kid stuff, who do you think are ultimately going to become the victims of us not having a very strict barrier in between those things? It's going to be children. It's going to be that. The hypersexualization of children, it's going to lead, and I'm being very, you guys, if you know what I'm trying to say, but I'm being very strategic with the words that I'm using here, because when you say certain things, certain platforms don't like you saying certain things, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. When you blur the lines, it creates a very dangerous environment for children to be in. The hypersexualization and just the hyper degeneracy and the destructiveness is not only bad for the community and really the image, not only the image of the community, the image of Black women, grown and young, old and young, but also particularly children, particularly them. They will be the main ones being victimized by this, which is why it's very important. So regardless if you like, I don't know why my nose is itching so much. Regardless if you like Sexyy Red songs, regardless of that, you have to, as an adult, understand that there is a time and a place for certain things to go, for certain music to be played. If you're going to go to a strip club or if you're going to go to a club and you hear Sexyy Red songs being played, oh, okay, well, this is the setting for that. If you go pick your kids up from school and you're hearing Sexyy Red through the big speakers in the school, then that's a problem, because this is not the setting for that. It don't matter how much you like the song, honestly. And we have this problem, and I'm going to get back to the article in a little bit. We have this problem, which is very particular when it comes to music. It's very, very particular when it comes to music, because we don't make this argument when it comes to TV shows. We don't make this argument when it comes to movies. We don't make this argument. But when it comes to music, only folks will sit up there and defend it. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But there are some other things that we need to further break down. We're close to 200 people. You guys, please, if you can, retweet this, put this on your Facebook or whatever the case is. I didn't do all of the advertising that I would want to do, but y'all make sure y'all get that done so we can have as many people in here as possible, because certain platforms, not saying which one in particular, you know which one, but certain platforms don't like these type of messages getting out there. All right. It goes against the algorithm. All right. So that's why I'm being very particular with my words. So let's continue. So as you can see here, you have the Sexyy Red Defense Squad defending anything and everything. No, and nobody's saying that Sexyy Red should go to jail or anything like that. They just saying that she shouldn't perform in high school or elementary school. And you got people like, well, they do it too. Okay, well, if they did do it, is it appropriate for them to do it? That should be your main question. Is it appropriate for them to do it? And if you say no, then you got to say no for everybody. The whole, well, they do it too, that's not enough of an excuse anymore. They do it too. That's not enough. That's not going to fly. scrolling through to see if we have anything else, right? But I'm gonna tell y'all, the Sexyy Red Defense Squad, it came out heavy with this one. Okay. Oh my God, what? Okay. See, that's the stuff. Okay, let me see. Computer tweaking. Following the backlash, Sexyy Red slid in the comment section under the Shade Room blog post to clarify why she appeared at a high school. The 25-year-old rapper confirmed that she didn't perform at the school and was there to do some charity work. Y'all, this is why I had to go back and show you the video again. Sexyy Red is saying, I didn't go there to perform. I went there to do some charity work. So you guys, because there's more people coming in. This is the question. Okay. Yeah, she's not there to perform. She's not there to perform. She's there to do some charity work. Okay, all right. That's what they're saying. Some charity work. All right. So that's she. I don't know who she ran that through before she made that response, but Lord have mercy. It would have been smarter for her not to say anything instead of telling a blatant lie like that. Continuing. Okay. The Sexyy rhymer continued. Pay attention to the fellas behind me with gags in their hands. Shout and then she tagged somebody. Prince Beauty Supply for helping me make this happen, and then okay. So she was saying that. So these are the tweets that she came there to do some stuff, and then she also responded to people on Twitter. Y'all don't know. It says, y'all do know I went there to give boys money for their haircuts and girls bundle for prom week. Because I remember when I needed help for my prom stuff. So Sexyy Red is literally out there pushing this whole thing that she went out there to help the kids. She didn't go out there to perform, but she went out there to give boys money for haircuts and girls bundles for their weave for prom. Okay. That's what she's saying. Okay. That's what she's saying. When we say it's now, it was a lot of backlash. It was a whole lot of backlash that happened to that. So you would really think that, okay, due to the amounts, the incredible amount of backlash that we faced from bringing her the first time, a school would have enough damn sense to know, yeah, we shouldn't bring Sexyy Red back again. That's something that we shouldn't do, especially the parents, because the parents, this doesn't really show the parents, it just shows social media, but the parents were very, very outraged about the fact that Sexyy Red showed up at the school. They didn't know. So this is how you know it's an agenda, because they didn't know. This is how you know, because people be all like, man, black culture. No. Now I'm going to show you this again. Remember, I did this video breaking down what exactly culture really is. So I'm going to show you guys again. Let me move my amazing logo off the screen for just a second. Culture is a societal concept that encompasses the beliefs, conduct, arts, language, and traditions that are collectively permitted or practiced by a group of people. Keep that in mind. That is what culture is. So when people be all like, well, Sexyy Red, that's a bad reflection on black culture. Sexyy Red is not a bad reflection on black culture, because, or at least going to schools, that's not a bad reflection on black culture, because black culture is not permitting her to do this. Black culture is not allowing her to do this, due to the fact that you see such outrage whenever she does this, shows the fact that black culture is not approving of it, does not condone that. It's proof that Black culture is not out here condoning what Sexyy Red is doing. What Sexyy Red is doing is being done without the parents' permission, without the parents' knowledge of it. Because you had a whole bunch of parents being all like, hey, why is Sexyy Red showing up performing? Because that's what she was doing. We're not going to lie about it. Why is Sexyy Red showing up performing at a school? She shouldn't be performing out of school. What is she doing there? And all of the thousands of Black folk who are online, who went to the school, were calling the school, mad at the school, shows that Black culture does not condone that behavior. That Black culture still understands the vital line and the limitations between adult themed content, talking about your brown booty hole, and then content that should be for children. And even if children would watch it, it should not be presented to them. Even if they watch it and they sneak and have to do so, it shouldn't be given to them in their face. So that's where the line gets drawn. All right. So this leads us to the situation we have recently, where another school invited Sexyy Red to, and there was outrage about that.
So look, so this school put me, I came up here, got you, trying to talk to the kids, getting the word of the day, they gonna put me on me. Tell me I smell like weed, watch this. He gonna try to get married. Fuck that old man. I don't give a fuck about making his job hard. My job hard. Fuck. Every day I'm fighting for my life. Every day. Bitch, you're nobody.
Bitch, you like I'm finna sit with y'all.
They ain't come to see you, Otis.
Otis?
Bitch. You heard who they screaming?
And she's very, very upset. And you have to think, why would she be upset if this was not like, if she doesn't want to be out of school, why would she be upset? Why would she be that upset? Why would she show up smelling like weed in the first damn place? Which clearly there was no guidelines of how she could dress. There was no guidelines of how she should show up. It would be another thing if she showed up and somewhat was halfway appropriate, but she wasn't. She didn't even try to tone down all of the generate ratchetness. She didn't even try to turn the ratchetness down a little bit. It was full 10, just like normal.
Hiya.
Okay, you saw that she's mad. She's doing this thing. So you got folks out here, and I'm gonna show you the Sexyy Red defense squad was something else. You got folks out here and these are some of the replies from Twitter, and then it's usually I'd understand, but we're talking about high school kids who pretty much all smoke weed anyways. It's not like she's passing the blunt around the auditorium. Excuse me? Yeah, we got 200 people. Thank y'all for hitting that like button. Oh, she smokes they all smoke weed anyway. So what's the big deal if she smells like she's smoking weed? Okay. If that's the argument, where's the line that's drawn? If somebody comes there high on cocaine and they be all like, well, I mean, the kids might be doing cocaine anyway, so what's the difference? Okay. That's an incredibly terrible, deflective argument. If Sexyy Red should be treated, it goes to a school with minors. These are minors. You would almost, even though it's still ratchet, but almost if this was college and everybody there was 18 and up, if this was that, okay. Then you could be all like, okay, well, they're all adults. These are not adults. You know, high schoolers can be 15 years old. 15 years old to 17. 15 to 17 is high school age. Maybe like a little bit of 18. Okay? So pretty much most of the kids there you saw were minors. Okay? And that's only if it was only high schoolers there. All right? So we don't even know that. So all of this stuff is going on, and you're sitting up there, well, oh, they smoke weed anyway. Okay. Well, if they're doing other inappropriate things, should we introduce more of that inappropriate thing? Because well, they might be doing it anyway. They could possibly be doing it anyway. First, all high schoolers don't smoke weed. That's number one. Number two, if they did, you gonna bring it to them? The Sexyy Red Defense Squad, y'all. Okay, is another one. Hold on, no, that's not all. Okay. Now, Sexyy Red, this is how you know Sexyy Red wants to perform in schools. And this was from the one she did last year. What school should I go to next? It's been a minute. She enjoys going to schools. Very odd. Now, another one. Check this out. Thinking about it more, the only ones to blame for real are the people who brought it, who thought it was a good idea to pull a high school to got an idea for her to pull up at a high school, wanting to hire Sexyy Red. Thank you very much, good brother Antithesis. Thank you very much for the cash app. Wanting to pull up at a high school, wanting to hire Sexyy Red, but being surprised when she shows up like Sexyy Red is crazy. Here's the thing. There's a level to that, because people make the excuse, oh, well, you shouldn't be surprised. We all know what Sexyy Red's about. You shouldn't be surprised. Let's have a little bit of comprehension and understanding to it. There's a level between being surprised and then accepting a behavior, accepting somebody's action. Are we surprised that Sexyy Red showed up high? I don't think anybody is surprised, in shock. Now, if Michelle Obama, for example, or somebody who like in the political field, if they showed up smelling like weed, yeah, you'd be a little bit surprised. If Beyonce showed up smelling like weed, yeah, you'd be a little bit surprised. If Sexyy Red showed up smelling like weed, no, you won't be surprised. That still does not condone the behavior. Just because it's expected behavior from somebody, that doesn't give it a pass because you're not surprised. You cannot be surprised and still disapprove. The thing is that nobody's surprised by what she did. People just disapprove of it. That's the argument. All right. Another one. So, and I got to play this, and this is really sad. But I saw this on Twitter. The Sexyy Red Defense Squad, y'all got to do a lot better. Y'all got to really do a lot better. Let me show y'all this. Okay. Zoom in a little bit. So somebody, a part of the Sexyy Red Defense Squad, says Misogynoir, coined by I just clicked off. Misogynoir, coined by Mana Bailey, is a helpful term for you to understand the ongoing hatred levied at Sexyy Red. Hatred of aversion to or prejudice against black women. So they're turning this, and this isn't the only one, they're turning this into why you just hate black women, and why you hate black women so much, and what do black women ever did to deserve all of this hate that you give black women in particular? So they're turning this into a black women thing. Let's look at the video, because it's a whole video. It's only 40 minutes.
Misogynoir, the hatred of, aversion to, or prejudice against black women. In 2008, while I was writing my dissertation, I coined the term misogynoir, and it was a term that I was really trying to find because I wanted to talk about something I was seeing in these dated medical school yearbooks in terms of how black women were represented. And unfortunately, that representation matched things that I was seeing in a lot of the different media innovations of the last several centuries. And so what was it about this representation of black women that had remained unchanged for nearly 100?
Okay. So it's a small little clip. And let me say this, and this might offend some. Let me say this. Misogynoir It's not. Ooh, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. I'm gonna say it anyway. Misogynoir, it's not really a real thing. It's not. Y'all can quote me. What it is racism. That is what it is. It is racism. It is racism that manifests itself slightly differently when it's being targeted to black women versus when it's being targeted to black men. That is it. That is all. There's no unique particular thing where black women have this unique level of anything. Unique level, and y'all can get mad at me and make response videos all you want to. Y'all can do that, and I'll debate anybody on this. It is racism. That is what it is. What people get confused by is the fact that they don't understand the system of white supremacy. And if you don't understand the system of white supremacy, everything that you do understand will confuse you. If you don't understand not just the system of white supremacy, not just understanding that it exists, but what it is and how it works. Shout out to Neely Fuller Jr., okay, for that term. If you don't understand what it is and how it works, you're going to be confused. If you don't understand white supremacy attacks black women differently than it attacks black men, very slightly differently, because black males and females are just different naturally. So it's going to target males and females differently, just naturally. Not no grave big thing. It's not like there's anything that you can say a black man goes through that black women don't go through at all, or there's nothing that black women go through that black men don't go through at all. So it's a slightly different variation, but this is deliberately done by the system of white supremacy, because that allows confusion to start breeding. And when confusion starts coming up, then you're going to have individuals, let me not bully, but individuals such as herself being all like, well, hold on, maybe there's a new, I need to come up with a different term for the hatred that black women in particular get. Now, mind you, there's no term for the hatred that black men in particular get. There's no term for the hatred that black men get, but there's a term for the hatred that black women get. And that's meant to confuse you into thinking that there's some additional level of hatred that black women get because they're black and a woman. The whole intersectionality thing is meant to confuse you in the ways that white supremacy works. Because when you're a Negro, you're not a man. When you're a Negro, you're not a woman in the eyes of white supremacy. You won't be treated like a damn human being. Your children will not be treated like a human being. Tamir Rice was not treated like a human being. Emmett Till was not treated like a human being. Minors, children. Okay? These people were not treated like your children will not be treated like a human being. Those black girls that were bombed in the MOVE bombing, they were not treated like human beings. These people were not treated like human beings. So when you think that, well, I'm a male, I'm a female, yes, you are a male and a female, of course. But you have to understand, you are a Negro to the world. So all of the oppression and the hatred you face is not because of you being a male or being a female. It's because you are black. That is what it is. So don't let this misogynoir and all that stuff confuse you into how white supremacy works. Because a system of oppression is not going to particularly favor the men that they're oppressing. We're oppressing a whole group of people. Think of a time in history this has ever went on. Think of a time in history this has ever went on where an oppressive group of people are oppressing another subjugated group of people, but they favor the men over the women. In any point of recorded human history where people are conquering villages, conquering kingdoms, conquering land, has that ever commenced? Where an impressive and invading army has favor the men of the nation that they're oppressing over the women, and they have more hatred to the women because they're female. Has that ever went on? Does that sound like that would even work? Does that sound like a system of oppression and subjugation could continue for centuries if it worked under that presence? If it worked with that structure, could it continue this long and be this potent and be this powerful? Could it, if it worked with such a flawed foundation in ideology? It could not. And no oppressive system has ever even attempted that. That's illogical. It would be more logical to put a heavier hand on the men in the society than the women. That would be more logical, doing it that way, to be honest. So all that misogynoir, that stuff that's not real. It's not. It is not. Okay. But you get of course, the Sexyy Red defense squad is gonna be coming out and be all like, these are they can reach out. I mean, they're stretching to make this defense. Now, how I want you guys to know, the Sexyy Red does not, and we won't let her represent all black women because she doesn't. It was a lot of sisters who were making videos who were saying, hey, this stuff is not, this ain't cool. She shouldn't be at school. This is degenerate. This is an agenda. This is an agenda. It was a lot of them who were doing that. Oh yeah, they stretching. They can reach so far and touch the damn solar eclipse that happened earlier today with the damn stretching that they doing. But let me play this clip.
These new age adults are exactly why I'm afraid to have kids. Because they want to be the kids. Like, the grandma's the baby. Currently going viral on Twitter right now because I had retweeted a post where Sexyy Red was mad because she couldn't go and perform or speak at a school. And I said that I've been telling y'all her target audience is kids. Because it is. That's what I believe. That's what I see with this shit. You don't gotta agree. I don't care. A lot of these new age artists target kids with very hypersexual and explicit content. I feel like my point is proven seeing that she's mad she can't go into a fucking school. Because why, as an adult entertainer whose music is on the verge of erotica, would you even think it's appropriate for you to show up at a school and then show up like that?
Now, and I want to pause it real quick. Because everybody's all like, well, hold on, it's the school. It's the school. We can't get mad at Sexyy Red. We got to get over this thing where entertainer is blameless for everything. We really got to get over this thing where as long as they're an entertainer, you know, you can't get mad because she went to a school. They shouldn't have invited her. Do you have to go everywhere you're invited? You don't have to go everywhere you're invited. Sexyy Red, even if she was invited, she didn't have to go. She could have said, well, you know, my content isn't really this. Now, mind you, this is after this video this sister's making is after the big backlash that she got the first time she went to a school. She got a whole bunch of backlash. Then she tried to walk it back. Oh, I was helping with haircuts and I was giving out bundles and fixing braids and I was doing some charity work. Okay. She tried to backtrack herself by saying she wasn't performing. Then she goes to another school. So why didn't she learn the first time? Like, yeah, man, maybe schools are not my place. Clearly the people don't want me showing up at schools. Sexyy Red could have declined that offer to go to the school. So we're going to have to get off this thing. Well, hold on. It's the school. It's the parents. Well, maybe there's enough blame to go around. We're not going to sit here and act like Sexyy Red is blameless because she's an entertainer. And as long as she's getting paid, she's blameless. No. You still have a responsibility to make sure, even if you can't make sure your content doesn't reach children, you shouldn't be going to the kids. That's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother thing. Okay, there was controversy about Rihanna some years ago. And folks was all like, Rihanna, you make very sexual music and your music is not really appropriate for children. So don't you think you should be a better role model? And Rihanna was like, well, you know, I didn't sign up to be a role model. You know, I make music for adults. And here's the thing, that's fine. That was her response to saying, hey, I'm not a role model. Every celebrity is not a role model, nor should they be expected to be a role model. That is fine. But you did not see Rihanna going to a school. If you go into a school, then that means there's some things about you being a role model, the image of you being appropriate for children and someone children should kind of look up to. You got to fit that image in order for you to be at a school. If you don't want to be a role model, that is fine. Nobody's saying that all celebrities have to be a role model. Nobody's saying that, okay? But if you do not want to be a role model, you should not show up at those places. There's a place for you. If you want this to be your lane, then this needs to be your lane. If you're going to do adult things, make adult content for an adult audience, or that's only appropriate for an adult audience, then you need to stay in the adult field. If you're not going to do that, then that's the problem. That is why people have a problem with her in particular, because she did show up. And then when they asked her to leave, she didn't leave. She just like pulled around in the street and then started dancing out of the sunroof. She didn't leave. She might have got like legally got out of the property, like their parking lot or whatever the case is. Then she pulled up at a curb and then she started dancing and performing at the curb. So she did not leave. Okay. This is the problem that people are having with her. So people are making it seem like, why y'all blaming her? I can't believe it. It's the school. It's the school. There's enough blame for the school. There's definitely some blame for the school, and the school does deserve that. However, we can't say that she's blameless. That's the problem. Let's continue listening to what the sister has to say.
School and then show up like that, smelling like marijuana with your cleavage hanging out. Baby, you wouldn't even be able to go visit your baby daddy in prison looking like that. But that's how you show up for the kids. Okay. 2, why would adults even think it is morally right to book a fucking Sexyy Red to come speak to kids? From the teachers to the fucking superintendent to, why would y'all think that's acceptable? The adults of this generation do not want to protect children. They just want to exploit them. Y'all don't see black kids as kids. You don't see black children as children. This is why y'all in my comments in my last video.
And let me pause it right there, because that's absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. They don't see black kids as kids, or as, like I said, when you are a black person, you're not really seen as a full human being, really. You're not really, though. They did the thing of 3/5 of a human, and that then when they did that, when they introduced that concept, it was for political purposes, but it was also what they really believed. They really do believe that black people are not fully people. They really do believe that. I'm going to take it back and I'm going to play, because I'm going to just let her cook, because she's building up. I'm going to just let her cook. They don't really believe that black people, even children, are fully human beings. So that's why if it happens to a black person, it's not that bad. He was black. Emmett Till was black. Oh, she was black. The little girls that blew up, they were black though. I mean, it's kind of sad. It's not that bad though. They were black. They were little Negroes. That's why you see that happening, and society has this very desensitized feeling to it, because they're black at the end of the day. So whatever happens to them, it can't really be that bad. They're just Negroes, like a little dog. Not even like a dog. Like a little squirrel. When you're driving and the squirrel is crossing the street and you hit the squirrel, and you might feel like, oh my God, I didn't mean to hit the squirrel, but you don't mourn. You don't cry. It's a squirrel. Life moves on. That's how they look at black people. They look at black people as less than dogs. They feel worse about things happening to dogs, not just all animals, dogs, than they do black people. If a dog was shot up like Emmett Till was, there would be massive outrage and nobody would be defending the police. If Derek Chauvin strangled a dog on the street like he did George Floyd in broad daylight, nobody would be defending the police. I'm talking about, I'm literally not joking, and every single person in here knows I'm telling the God's honest truth. If he had strangled a dog, folks wouldn't be defending him. But because it was a black man, it's all like, well, hold on, he was resisting though. I mean, Derek Chauvin's such a nice guy, and you have a lot of people defending people who kill, lynch black folk. Okay? When they bust in Breonna Taylor's house, if they shot her little puppy, you would have less people defending the cops for shooting her dog than shooting her. If they shot her dog and didn't shoot her, you would have everybody sitting up there like, oh, those cops need to be fired. What's wrong with all those cops? But they shot her and they was all like, well, she was a drug dealing queenpin, which isn't the truth. If this happened, if Sandra Bland, if she was taken into custody and then she wound up dying, if a dog was taken into custody and wound up dying, it would be massive outrage. Okay? Massive outrage. If George Zimmerman was following, George Zimmerman, not a cop, following a stray dog instead of Trayvon Martin and wound up shooting the dog, he wouldn't have gotten off for following the dog and shooting the dog. But he followed a little black kid and he shot the little black kid. Oh, what? They're black though. At the end of the day, it's a Negro. Nobody's going to cry over the loss of a Negro. Nobody's going to do that. So when people say we're treated like dogs, I make the argument black folk in the system of white supremacy are treated less than dogs. We are treated less than dogs because of the things that happen to us, happen to dogs. There would be more outrage and things, legislation, politicians would be able to do something. Nobody would be, well, we got to see the full video and hold on now. We got to do all the evidence. Let's wait till the facts come out. Nobody would be doing that. So we're treated less than dogs, even children. Let's continue. Let's continue though. I'm gonna go back a little bit because she was really on one.
To a fucking school. Because why, as an adult entertainer whose music is on the verge of erotica, would you even think it's appropriate for you to show up at a school and then show up like that? Smelling like marijuana with your cleavage hanging out. Baby, you wouldn't even be able to go visit your baby daddy in prison looking like that. But that's how you show up for the kids. Okay. 2, why would adults even think it is morally right to book a fucking Sexyy Red to come speak to kids? From the teachers to the fucking superintendent to, why would y'all think that's acceptable? The adults of this generation do not want to protect children. They just want to exploit them. Y'all don't see black kids as kids. You don't see black children as children. This is why y'all in my comments, in my last videos, mad at me because I don't agree with an 18-year-old being a 304. The amount of adults in my comments trying to justify this shit is just like blowing my mind. Somebody said, well, adults love Sexy, kids love Sexy. What adult is condoning their child listening to Sexyy Red? Even I had to sneak to listen to Kaya. The adultification of black kids right now makes me want to fucking slap every bitch in here. A lot of these new age adults remind me of those older monitors who would come and substitute after school and who would think they was one of the kids. I'll never forget, I had a whole beef with one of these grown-ass monitors. Literally, I had to call my mom up to the school because she beefing with me like she a kid. Literally. You mad at me, but you kicking it with the whole football squad. And what's funny is she ended up getting fired years later because it got found out that she was messing with one of the kids. And that's what y'all be giving. Like weirdo behavior. Y'all are blurring the lines. Y'all do not want to hold space for the kids. I told y'all hating bitter aunties is in the club with y'all now. They in the club turning up with you. They don't want to be your auntie. They don't want to be a big sister. They don't want to be your mentor. They your fucking competition. Confirmation. You can go to the club right now and see an 18-year-old with the same aesthetic as a motherfucking 35-year-old. It's weird. Y'all are weird. The grandma's the baby.
Hey, I gotta admit that didn't. If she ain't told a lie yet. She ain't told a lie yet. I fully gotta admit that that's 100% the truth. And to be honest, there probably needs to be another conversation later on for that. We have this really bad thing where folks don't like to grow up in the community. We have a thing where you have folks in their late 30s and early 40s dressing like they just got out of high school. They mentally refuse to, not can't, but refuse to progress past the ages of 21. You got folks who are that old competing with children. They're literally competing with children. Okay. It's so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. It might need its own video, how ridiculous that is. But going back into the Sexyy Red thing, a lot of y'all think that it's okay because y'all don't see children as as precious and innocent and valuable. Y'all don't see that. Y'all don't see how important it is for a kid to just be a kid and to grow up and not be tainted, okay? To not have their childhood ruined. Y'all don't understand that because a lot of people hurt, and we got a thing where hurt people hurt people. Okay, hurt people. We understand that, but it's still their responsibility to make sure that they heal. I'm gonna be very honest, and this might seem a little bit unsensitive. I don't care what has happened to you in your childhood. It does not give you the permission to victimize somebody else. I can sympathize with certain people going through certain things, no matter what it is. Some things are minor, some things are incredibly major. I can. If that stuff happened to you, you need to do the best you can to try to heal from that, to try to recoup from that. Okay? But too many people, you don't do that. Too many people refuse to do that. And they allow their brains to be twisted into this thing where they think that it's somewhat acceptable. That what happened to you is acceptable to happen to somebody else. That's where I draw the line. I'm not saying even still I don't sympathize with what happened to you when you were a child or what you saw, what you've been through. But I'm saying for you to grow up and then for you to allow the same actions to happen to somebody else is criminal to me. Okay? Is certain words I can't say, but it's demonic to me for you to allow that to happen. This is a very demonic agenda that we have grown adults pushing. Now it's not the black community, because most of the folks from the black community are outraged by this. If you did a poll and everybody in the black community got to vote on this poll if they approve of Sexyy Red going to the school or if they think it's a problem, most black folks would definitely, an overwhelming majority would definitely say it's a problem. So it's not like this is a cultural issue. This is an agenda that is constantly being pushed on the community. I got some more stuff from the Sexyy Red defenders. Now, after she made that video, then you have people being all like, I don't know, y'all kind of annoying with this with the think pieces. It is inappropriate, yes, but is she purposely targeting children? I highly doubt it, because she probably hasn't taken the booking. She probably have taken the booking, but she can't control what kids listen to these days. Okay, let me say this. A OnlyFans person can't really control what kids watch nowadays. Should they show up to schools though and perform? Should a OnlyFans, I was about to say actor, should a OnlyFans model or whatever they call them, should they show up to school, be like, hold on, now I can't make sure that kids don't watch my content, so I might as well show up to a damn school anyway. Now, for Sexyy Red, does tweets like this look like Sexyy Red doesn't want to be at a school? What school should I go to next? It's been a minute. Okay. Does this sound like she doesn't want to go to a school? Does this sound like, oh, her booking agent is making her go and she has to go? Does this sound like that? Or does it sound like this is something she likes? Something she wants to do? Okay, but there's more. There's more. You got people, is her target audience kids, or did the school invite her and she went? If anybody at fault, it's the damn school. Okay, we can all agree that the school is at fault. That's unquestionable that the school is at fault. However, the problem is she agreed. The agent works for her. The agent works for her. The booking agent works for her. So that means that the booking agent, even if it was booked by her agent, the booking agent has to go to Sexyy Red for the final say. She has to go and have the final say. And even if she just had to go, why, when she was asked to leave, why didn't she leave? If she didn't want to be there, just keep this in mind. Let's put our thinking caps on. If she didn't want to be there, why, when she was asked to leave, why didn't she leave? Why did she just pull around the corner and start performing if she really didn't want to be there? Oh, but you got more. You got more. Technically, every celebrity's target audience is the easily influenced kids. Just happens to be the easiest to influence. What type of predatory comment is this? Oh, they're easy to influence. What type of predatory comment? I'm telling you, these people who are defending Sexyy Red are sounding like predators themselves. I'm being very honest with you guys. I'm being incredibly blunt with you guys. Because you're sitting up there targeting, these are children. And if you say, well, if their target audience is kids, then they need to make content that is appropriate for kids. Now, for an example, if Mariah Carey showed up at a school, okay, Mariah Carey has songs that are appropriate for children. Okay. If Beyonce, and even Beyonce stuff can get a little bit sexual, but not all her songs are sexual. All of Sexyy Red's songs are not even just sexual. All of them, her whole catalog, are like over the top, not even sexual, just like strip club songs. Pound Town, Ski Eat, all of that stuff. Strip club songs. Songs that belong at a strip club, not at a school. You can't even make the argument that maybe she wasn't going to perform something super ratchet. She doesn't have anything that's not super ratchet. Not a single song she has is super. She couldn't even pick of her whole catalog a song that would be slightly appropriate for a high school setting. This sounds like a predatory comment. All celebrities. Well, if all celebrities, our audience are children, then all celebrities need to make content for children. Now, continuing, you got more. Erotic music has been around forever. All caps, the problem is the parents. Y'all giving y'all kids technology and letting them run free. No explicit child blocks, no supervised technology used. Sexyy Red is not a role model. Never has been. Parents need to be role models. Okay. Let's take this off for a second and discuss that. Parents need to be role models. Fully agree. We're going to have the very honest conversation, very sincerely honest conversation. Parents of today, you are going to have to work a lot harder to protect your children than your parents had to protect you, and their parents had to protect them. It's at this point now that even not giving your kid a phone is not even going to protect them all the way like that. Now, when they're like 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, should they be taking a phone to first grade? No. To kindergarten? No. You know, no, they shouldn't be doing that. But once they reach the levels of 13, 14, 15 years old, not giving them a phone. Hold on. Let me see something. Not giving them a phone. I thought, shout out to Diza for the Cash App. Not giving them a phone is not even fully protecting them anymore. And a lot of parents need to understand this, because even if you give your 13-year-old, if you take a phone away from your 13-year-old and you send them to school, especially if they go to a public school, all of the other kids around are going to have a phone. If you put parental blocks on your kid's device, that's good. But you don't know about all of the other kids around that have that. And I'm not saying you just shouldn't do it because you can't stop it. You should do what you can, but you have to understand doing that is not a foolproof measurement of protecting the kids anymore. When they get out to the public, when they get out around other children or other adults, and you're not there to really watch and protect them, you have to understand, to a degree, children are exposed to certain things that I didn't grow up being exposed to. Okay? For me, if there was a adult block on the computer, you couldn't get around that. Kids couldn't really get around. There was very, very, very few very tech savvy kids who could find a way to get around that. But overall, kids could not get around that. Now you have a thing where your block ain't really gonna mean nothing if you got a friend who has a phone who don't get a block, or who knows how to jailbreak phones, who knows how to get around that. Kids are more tech savvy now than they ever have been. So does this mean you shouldn't try? No, this does not mean you should not try. What this means is that your methodology of protecting the children needs to adapt. It needs to upgrade. It improve. What you need to do is, instead of trying to prevent them from being able to see it, you need to, at a very younger age than maybe what your parents had the conversation with you about, which is sad that we have to do this, but you do, as modern parents, you do have to adapt to this. What you have to do is you have to instill levels of discipline in your kid at a more young age than your parents did with you. You have to instill certain characteristics in your child earlier than what your child did with you, with what your parents did with you. You have to instill principles characters, boundaries. You have to develop their character so they can have a strong character, so they can have strong discipline, so they have the ability to say yes or no, so they are less influenced by outside approval or by outside influence at a younger age than what your parents did with you. When your parents had the, and I'm not saying you got to give your kids the birds and the bees or the talk at 5 years old. I'm not saying that, okay? But I'm saying after school, you're gonna have to let be known. You're gonna have to show your kids, hey, look at what you see here. This is not appropriate. That's a demonic symbol. I'm gonna tell you something. My parents used to do that to me all the times. We would be watching stuff, and then they would say, like, hey, you see that little hand symbol? That's a demonic symbol right there. That's a little Masonic little thing that they're doing right there, that they're putting right there. So I would know little subliminal messages coming up. You know what I'm saying? So when I see it, I'm not like I don't get indoctrinated and then have to work my way out of it. There's too many kids who they don't learn it from their parents, so they have to learn the hard way. First off, you don't want your kids to learn the hard way, and now you really can't even afford for your kids to learn the hard way. You got to make sure that they know where the traps are. This is why this video is so very important. They have to know where the traps are so they can avoid the traps. You can't, even as a parent in modern society today, you can't prevent the traps from being there. You can't do that the way you used to. Okay? You can't do that the way you used to. Now what you have to do is you have to, instead of being the knight in shining armor leading the kids all of the time like you were able to, now you have to instill an armor around your kids. You have to give them their own defenses now, which can be done. It's not all hope is lost, but parents, especially parents who young black kids who have younger black kids, they really need to learn this lesson very quickly, because you have to instill this in them at a very young age, okay? Because they have no limits at all. And the traps are coming left and right and left and right and left and right. And nowadays, you have this degenerate class that approves of stuff like this. I'm going to be honest. When I was a kid, if Lil Wayne showed up and performed at my school, you wouldn't have a whole bunch of adults saying that would be okay. Or I'm thinking of a popular person at that time. If Lil Kim did that or something like that at that time, when I was 15 years old, 16 years old, or no, not when I was 15, 16, around that age, you wouldn't have that. Who was like around when I was around that age? If you wouldn't really have that. Parents would be upset. You wouldn't have this degenerate defense squad. Because I'm thinking back to early 2000s. No, I wasn't 16 in the early 2000s. I'm thinking about a little bit far too back. But you have this degenerate class that will gaslight the hell out of you just because they like the artist. Just because they like the artist, they're gonna gaslight you. Just because they like the artist, they're gonna sit there and be all like, well, hold on now, you can't blame Sexyy Red. We love Sexyy Red, defend Sexyy Red. You won't have that. We have a thing where so many people are so lost, they cannot properly categorize entertainment from real life. They can't say, well, I might like a song or two. A song or two might be catchy. I'm not saying that you can't like a song or two. I'm not saying that Sexyy Red I'm not saying you can't do that. But I'm saying like it where it's supposed to be. That's what I'm saying. If you like it when you go to the club, like it at the club. Don't like it at the school. Like stuff where it's supposed to be. and make sure those things don't cross each other. That's the thing. You got people who like it so much, they don't care if it crosses over to the other side. That's a problem. That's a very big problem. And parents really need to adapt and learn that as quickly as possible. Another thing as well, too. Let me see. Another thing as well, too. Another thing I really don't like. I really don't like messages like this. Black community can't be saved. Too far gone. I'm gonna be honest. Every so often when something pops up, we see stuff like that. Well, we just so bad. We can't be saved. We can't be saved. We too. Stop. Can we stop that? Can we stop it? Every so often we have the black community can't be. Stop. Okay, let me circle back and let me show you guys again what the definition of culture is. Culture, I'm going to read it again. Culture is a societal concept that encompasses the beliefs, conduct, arts, language, and tradition that is collectively permitted and or practiced by a group of people. So that means if it is not collectively permitted, if it is, what is the opposite of something being permitted? Something being rejected. So if something is collectively rejected by the community, by definition, it can't be culture. It can't be cultural if it's collectively rejected by the community. Sexyy Red, especially her showing up at schools, is collectively rejected by the community. So by definition of what culture is, it cannot be cultural. So it's not, oh, the black community is so far gone. No, it's not. No, we are not so far gone. I'm so sick of hearing y'all be saying that. I'm sick of hearing y'all say that. And to be honest, it's only we got to get rid of the whole defeated mentality that black folk have. We really got to get rid of that. Oh my God, we just so bad. We so bad. We so doomed. We so slow. Stop doing that stuff. Glass half empty ass Negro. Stop. That is so annoying. All y'all defeated mentality, pessimistic ass. We just so doomed. Stop. That is, oh my God, that is so damn annoying. That is all y'all the black people being the pessimistic black folk. That might be its own. Y'all are very bothersome and annoying. And no other community does that. You got white kids who will show up with a assault rifle and gun down an elementary school, and you don't see one single white person say the white community is doomed. We're done. You don't see none of them saying that. You don't see none of them saying that. You got kids working for El Chapo and all that stuff. You don't hear Mexicans saying the Mexican community is doomed. You don't see none of them saying that. You don't see none of them saying that. Sexyy Red show up to a school and then, oh, hope is lost. Just take us, Lord. Like, stop. That pessimistic, oh, that is annoying. That is so damn annoying. God. With all of the stuff that all these other communities do, you don't see one of them saying, oh, the white community. Now, they'll say the white community is doomed when they see two black people at a job. They'll be like, what the hell, man? This is affirmative action. The white communities do. Like, you'll see them do that. But they don't hold themselves accountable to the extent that they say the community is doomed and they're too far gone. You don't see them doing, no matter what they do. You don't see them doing that. I mean, mass shooter after mass shooter after mass shooter after mass shooter. They'll blame the gun before the community. So stop. That is, Lord, that is so annoying. That is very annoying. Please stop that. Please stop that. Sexyy Red is not the damn representative of the black community. She's not the representative of even black women. So we're going to have to stop that. And one of the things that bothers me the most about it is because when a black person becomes a doctor, when a black person becomes a nurse, when a black person becomes a lawyer, when a black person becomes a professor, when a black person becomes a judge, a business person, a business owner, when a black person does all of these great, wonderful, positive things, nobody says, well, they are now the representative of the black community. Nobody ever says that. Just keep that in mind. There's not a single positive thing that any black person, male or female, does that they say, okay, well, now they're the representative and the black community is doing so well. Look at this doctor over here. Look at this lawyer over here. Look at this engineer and this professor over here. We're doing so great. They'll look at it and be like, I mean, that's cool. And then when a black person does something ratchet, it's all like, oh my God, can we do better than this? Why do we keep doing? Like, stop. Because y'all be overlooking all of the positive things. Every black person who does something good and something positive, y'all will like, I mean, that's cool, I guess. And then y'all never speak on that. They don't become the representatives of the culture. They don't become the representatives of the community. But then when somebody does something negative, y'all be all like, man, we just so bad. Like, stop. Oh my God, that is very annoying. Y'all can clearly tell that annoys the hell out of me. That annoys me so much. God, that is so annoying. That is so annoying. Okay. This defeated ass pessimistic mentality. Stop it. But you also had, and I got to show y'all this, because I think that this is very interesting too. You had a lot of, and this isn't to get on our riders, because we do have some. I'm trying to make some a safe space for y'all. I'm trying to make a safe space for y'all. You know, but we got to get on y'all. So we got to get on the tether class. We do have to get on the tether class. Then we got folks like this. And now this was in response to this. The black community can't be saved. We're too far gone. Okay. Then you have this. Quote. And then that thing is for correction. Black American community. Y'all see all the flags? Black American community. Every time this comes up, I make that distinction. Oh, okay. 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 So you got the tethers out here who are like, oh no, hold on now. They're black Americans. They don't represent us. They're black Americans. We got to make that distinction. And then that's very interesting, because when we make a distinction, when somebody does something ratchet and we say, hey, you know, they're from they're Ghanaian. Hold on, don't put that on us. They're Ghanaian. Y'all be like, we all black. No, we all black. What do you mean? What do you mean? We are all black. We all come from Africa. No, hold on, hold on. Where's the Pan-Africanist? We gotta say it. We gotta call a spade a spade. Where the Pan-Africanist? Because when the tether class try to dump off degeneracy on the black American community, you don't see Pan-Africanists be all like, hold on, we are all African, my brothers and sisters, and we all come from the motherland. Oh, no. They don't do that. They don't come into our defense. And this is something I've been saying for years, and I'm not trying to beat up on the non-FBA riders. I love y'all. We here with it. We here with it. But we got to get on the tether class, because they are very problematic, okay? Pan-Africanists, when we catching strays and we getting attacked, they don't have nothing to say at all. You can't find a Pan-Africanist when a non-FBA is bashing FBAs. You can't find one. Then when we try to delineate and we try to do the same thing, then it's like, hold on, we all from Africa and we all got to stick together, and there is no different groups. But when you look at the situation, what's odd is that the people defending Sexyy Red, the people defending Sexyy Red, you got non-FBAs defending Sexyy Red. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, hold on. I mean, this tweet ain't really aging that well. Hold on. It's the Black American community. Every time this comes up, I must make that distinction. Huh. It's the are you sure it's the Black American community? Now, Sexyy Red might be a Black American, but that don't mean all her listeners are. That don't mean all of the people who are defending her are. Let's not play that game. Let's not play that game. So we're gonna stop with that. We're gonna stop with that. Okay. So I gotta show y'all this because there's some people who are like, oh, we all from Africa. No, because when they try to put something off on us, y'all cool with it. When we say, okay, well, if that's the case, y'all gotta hold your own nuts then. If that's the case, y'all gotta hold your own nuts. The good we do, we gonna keep it over here. The bad we do, we gonna keep it. We gonna hold ourselves accountable. Y'all, the good y'all do, y'all keep it over there. The bad y'all do, y'all keep it over there. So we got this thing in the community for too long. We've had it where everybody can hold their own W, but the L has to get spread around to everybody, mainly Black Americans. But everybody holds their own W, unique own W. So when Haitians do something good, oh, that's Haitians. When Jamaicans do something good, oh, that's Jamaicans. And I'm not trying to beat up Haitians and Jamaicans collectively. I'm just trying to say the tether class. When they do something good, oh, that's them. They hold it. They don't share it. They gatekeep it. Then when it's something bad, oh, we all Black now. We got to spread it, and y'all leaving us the bag. No, oh no, we're not doing that. No, we're not gonna do that no more. All right, but to get back to what we were saying about Sexyy Red, this is an agenda. A few years, because Sexyy Red has only been around like 2 years, if that. Really only a year, to be honest. But like 2 years, y'all. She blew up with that song Pound Town, where she was talking about her booty hole. And then she just took off. And a lot of people were making the argument, okay, are you industry plant? Because your takeoff was phenomenally quick. I'm talking about phenomenally quick. You can't think of any artist in modern times that had a takeoff that propelled her to the height and as quickly as Sexyy Red did. And you got a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of overnight celebrities. But to be honest, none of the overnight celebrities blew up the way Sexyy Red did. None of them did. So a lot of people were making an argument, you must be an industry plant the way you doing this. And people like, no, she's not, because she was on YouTube before. Let me tell y'all something too. This is now her and Sukihana. A lot of people, Sukihana has not blown up the way Sexyy Red has. Sukihana was like coming up right here, but Sukihana's ceiling was much lower than what Sexyy Red's was. You can't think of, when you go to like a club, a strip club, anything, you'll see a few Sexyy Red songs that are being played. You won't see one Sukihana song that's being played. There's a song they made together that might be played. You can't even think of one. Sukihana didn't even blow up the way Sexyy Red did. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying Sukihana's not an industry plant. Okay? They're all problematic. But there's something very uniquely particular about Sexyy Red that blew up. So we have to really think, where does she come from? Because it's not like it's not like she was underground for any point in time. It's not like she was underground and she started to catch on a little bit, and then folks started recognizing her talent, and then next thing you know, okay, now she's big. That's not what was going on. Okay? She had some YouTube videos, because people make it seem like, oh, well, she had YouTube videos and she had been making songs before, and then this one song got on and went super viral. Okay, let's just pause for a second and acknowledge the fact that they can make a song go super viral. They do have that ability. You know, the algorithms are controlled, right? You understand that, right? These algorithms are controlled. So a song that goes super viral is not as if nobody had pressed the button or nobody had tweaked the algorithm a little bit so that song keeps popping up on people's timelines. We have to remember algorithms are still man-made. Men still make these algorithms. So just because somebody's like, no, hold on, it's the algorithm, that doesn't mean that a man didn't make this algorithm. Let's just use a little bit of comprehension with that. And then still, one single song, Pound Town, blowing up. Then next thing you know, she signed on to a label. Off of one trendy song, she signed on to a label, and now she's performing with Drake, doing music videos with her and her and her. She's selling out stadiums. Wow, that was an incredibly quick blow up. That was a very incredibly quick blow up. It seems a little bit inorganic. Her overnight stardom is arguably faster than any. I honestly cannot think of a star that blew up as fast and as majorly as Sexyy Red has. I really can't think of one. Okay. And one, especially one that has not had like an underground career before. Like for instance, Kendrick Lamar, when he started, coming up and he started going on stage, Kendrick Lamar had an underground career of rapping prior to doing that. A lot of the rappers we know of already had an underground career of performance prior to doing that. You can make the argument, and this might seem kind of weird, Cardi B had an underground career before she blew up. That was building up to something. Now, Cardi B, she kind of blew up out of nowhere too. Let's keep that in mind. But a lot of these other artists had like a slight little underground career where they had small little venues and small little shows and stuff. The slight little thing where they were actually going to studios and making music. Not just on a little YouTube video. And no diss to the YouTube video artists out there, no diss to that. Nipsey Hussle is another one. They had like underground careers before they started to get recognized or whatever. And then when they got recognized, then they started to really blow up. That's more of the modern days organically how they did it. I mean, Chief Keef, even the ones who are trap, like hardcore trap music and all that stuff, Chief Keef, Lil Durk, all of them had underground careers for years, especially Lil Durk, before blowing up. Okay, it's now one single little video that gets 1 million views. Now you're signed on to a record label. That's not normal. That's really not normal, especially to the degree that she had before, especially to the degree she had. So with that, you can notice that, okay, they're using the YouTube, oh, they blew up on YouTube excuse to sign on to selectively sign on certain people. I want you to understand, do you not think that they have industry labels and people who have agendas watching YouTube? Do you not think that they vet these people and say, I'm cool, I'm gonna watch you a little bit, and I'm gonna selectively pick who's gonna blow up next? Let's know that they do that. Just know that they do that. Do you think every viral video goes viral on accident? All of them? Some of them, maybe they might blow up just by happenstance, just by a few people finding the video and sharing the video. But do you think, honestly, all of the videos that go viral are just by happenstance or just by the algorithm? Or do you think that certain videos blow up on purpose? Certain videos blow up on purpose. You got to think about that. And the videos that blow up on purpose, those videos, you do have to understand, those videos that blow up on purpose, and then next thing you know, they're signed on to a label because of one song, and now they're on studios, and now they're going to kids. They know that. They had a long agenda when they picked this one artist. They already knew, okay, this is who we're looking for. We need someone who fits the Sexyy Red build. We need someone who fits the Sexyy Red character. Instead of making one, we're just going to pick one off of YouTube. We're going to watch a couple of her videos, make sure we pick the right one, have her video go viral, and then bam, next thing you know, she's big. It's the agenda in play. It's you know it is, because it's so inorganic. It's so abnormal. It's so rare. And we're seeing this over and over again. Okay? We're seeing this over and over again. Another one, somebody said Ice Spice. Anybody know Ice Spice's underground thing? Ice Spice was not underground for any bit of time like that. Ice Spice just kind of blew up out of nowhere too, off of a YouTube video. And then next thing you know, she's signed, and now she's going to Super Bowls and doing all of this stuff. Just kind of blew up out of nowhere. Now, I want you to also keep in mind, how you know it's deliberate, how you know it's an agenda, because the artists who make positive music, the artists who make uplifting music, the artists who make motivational music or music that could be appropriate for kids, they don't ever just blow up out of nowhere and then get signed to a label and then become the biggest thing ever. Those artists, they don't really get the type of mainstream attention. And it's not just because people like ratchet stuff. Those artists particularly have a very difficult time coming up. Because, mind you, there's so many artists who do things that aren't ratchet. So many artists who do very tasteful music. And I'm not saying that all music needs to be appropriate or all music needs to be super tasteful and innocent. I'm not saying that. But you have artists who are on the more positive side of that, and they don't blow up like that. Every single video they make don't go super viral like that. They have a very hard, difficult time coming up. Okay? And now you have this thing where this Sexyy Red is not the Sexyy Red ilk. They're blowing up out of nowhere, which is creating an incentive for women, for especially young Black girls, which is why, going back to what I said earlier, you need to really mentally prepare your children for what's to come in the world. But you have the Sexyy Reds, and when the young Black girls see that Sexyy Red blows up and she's rapping about her booty hole and all of this stuff and Pound Town and this, it's an incentive for the young Black girls to emulate that type of behavior. This is what grooming is. This is grooming. This stuff is meant to groom the children. It's also an incentive for, and I'm going to show you this, is also an incentive for some of the young Black males to grow up and be all like, hey, if you want to get attention, you got to kind of have like, you got to be a criminal. Let me show you this. Now, I already played the copyright thing, so YouTube, this is 100% fair use, but let me show you this.
Honest. Want to be honest? The most romantic thing somebody did for me, it was my first boyfriend. I was just in high school. He was a little older than me, and it was Valentine's Day. I'll never forget. He robbed somebody and gave me the money and gave me the bill he stole, and it was just so sweet because he was out of breath and stuff.
She said the most romantic thing anybody has done for her was her boyfriend robbed somebody and gave her the money. Okay?
He's like, here, I just got this for you. I was like, oh, so sweet. Thank you. Because nobody never did nothing like that for me. He stole for me. So I'm like, oh, you did that for me, really?
Now, she's saying the most romantic thing, and some folks saying it's scripted. I believe it. I definitely believe it. It's sexy. Some of the ratchetness is just so over the top. You know, it's not even organic. The ratchetness is so over the top. It can't even be real. It can't even be real. Okay. We all from the black community, you know this stuff. Like, ain't nobody saying that robbing nobody is romantic. Like, that seems like a white person told her to say that. Like, yeah, he stuck him up and he robbed him and he took you to Popeyes. He say y'all went to Popeyes for dinner and ate fried chicken with hot sauce. That sounds like a white person told her to say that. Cause that's too over. Even the hood rats of the community was like, that's the most romantic thing a man has ever done for you, really? Even the hood rats was like, no, I had men do more romantic things for me than that. So this is how you know it's an agenda. Because who says stuff like that? Who says stuff like that? And what I say is, imagine her saying that, and then and women, young black, follow me, y'all, follow me. The young black girls seeing how popular Sexyy Red is. The young black girls are seeing the attention that she gets. She's showing up to the schools. So they're thinking that, okay, this stuff is appropriate. They're starting to emulate her. And then Sexyy Red is saying these are the men that she likes. You already have too many, especially young black boys, who think in order to get a woman's attention, you got to be a thug. You already have that a narrative in the community where these young black boys, they don't really want to do this stuff. They want to do it because they think it's cool, because they think it's what gets girls. You get and all of this stuff is really the system of white supremacy. Then you got this the young black girls who thinking that these are the dudes that they supposed to like. So it's grooming because the young black girls are developing a taste for those type of men. And the young black boys are thinking that this is what you got to do and be like in order to get the girls' attention and to get the girls to like you. When you have women like Sexyy Red saying that robbing somebody is romantic. Okay. Not doing anything actually romantic, but robbing somebody and getting the money is romantic. What is a young black boy who is influential going to think when they see that stuff? This is the person that they're bringing to the school. When you see this, especially you as being a principal, when you see this is the type of person she is, why would you invite her to a school? Why would you invite her to a school when you see that? When you see the first time parents were outraged, this is the type of stuff she talks about. Why would you invite this to a high school with minors unless these schools are a part of the agenda? Get this off. These schools are definitely a part of the agenda. These schools are going to do whatever the agenda wants them to do. All right. And I'm saying this to let you guys know, as far going back to what I'm saying, as far as protecting your children, you have to protect your children in a way that's very different from how your parents, their parents had to protect them. All right. You have to understand, you have to put like a mental block, a mental shield around the kids, a mental armor of defense around the kids at a younger age than what you would even think is appropriate. Because you would think, oh, we let the kid grow up, and then when the kid gets a little bit older, then I'll tell the kid about the danger of the world. Your parents might have been able to afford that luxury. You can't really afford that luxury anymore. Shout out to Our good brother Panther Strike for the super chat says, brother Afro Elite, bam. Yeah. Hammer hitting the nail. Young black girls and women are really the victims here listening to this. Clown, it says, exactly. Get your paper, but don't be a filthy spectacle. Exactly. I'm gonna be, and thank you so much. And that's a great point. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if Sexyy Red was only performing in environments that she should be in. I wouldn't be mad. That's why I'm not mad at a stripper for stripping at a strip club. I'm not mad at them for doing that. Now, when you want to take the stripping pole to a school and you want to do the same dances that you do at a strip club in a school, that's where the problem is. And why would you do it? Even if the school booked you, why would you agree to that? Knowing what you do is not for children. You know what you do is not for children. So why are you sitting up there, you doing these dances at a school? You performing these songs at a school? That's our problem with Sexyy Red. Not because she's almost a ratchet minstrel show. And that needs to be a term now too. I just coined it. A ratchet minstrel show. You used to have minstrel shows that be tap dancing and stuff like that. They'd be like, oh, I love me some fried chicken, y'all. Like, those are minstrel shows. When you be seeing, and the white folks be all like, look at that Negro eating a watermelon. You be seeing, those are minstrel shows that is meant to appease the white audience. But now you have ratchet minstrel shows who be saying stuff like, he robbed for me, and I ain't never had nobody do that for me before. And then we went to Popeyes, and after that, we smoked a whole bunch of weed and did crack. Those are ratchet minstrel shows for the white audience to be like, look at them, look at those Negroes over there, look at them. She's a ratchet minstrel show. Okay, all right. If that's how you gonna get your money, okay. Being a ratchet okay, but don't cross this line. That's the problem. Don't cross over into the line where the children are supposed to be safe. That's the problem. And what we need to do also is we need to address the sick adults that approve of that. There are certain shows that have nudity in it. There are certain movies that have nudity in it. I'm gonna pick a popular Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones has violence and nudity. Adults watch Game of Thrones. I've watched Game of Thrones. Adults can watch that. If I saw Game of Thrones, as much as I like the show and I think the show is interesting or whatever, if I saw Game of Thrones being played at a kindergarten, I would turn it off. Because that show is not for children. It don't matter how much I might particularly like the show. That show has things in it that should not be viewed by children. That might be my favorite show. I might think that's the best show ever. It might be the best show ever. There might never be a show that's better than that show, in my opinion. But if I saw it being played in an elementary school, I would say, hey, hold on. This show is not appropriate for children in the elementary school. I'm not going to be like, but man, I love Game of Thrones, though. I love it, though. No, we got to have adults that have the mental maturity to separate where adults should be and where children should be. But we have this sick thing, and this might need its own video because we already about 2 hours on. We have this sick thing where we have adults and children, and they got this. Adults are the ones trying to blur the line between adulthood and childhood. We need to. There is a serious virus that's in the community. It don't represent the community, but it's in there. We have a virus, and they're trying to convert the two, and that does not need to happen. It cannot happen. Okay, we need to make sure that stuff does not happen. We got a lot there. I mean, yes, there's things an adult brain can process that a child's brain cannot process. We understand that. So we need to make sure that stays that way. And any adult, to be honest, who tries to make it seem like that doesn't need to be, that we don't need to have a line, those adults need to be double checked. Okay? Because your desire to stay a child for the rest of your life, for eternity, it's causing you to perpetuate very predator behavior. Honestly, it really is. Brothers and sisters, we've been on here for I did not honestly expect us to be on here for this long. But this agenda is very, very, very destructive, and we absolutely need to discuss it. And we need to expose it. Okay? Before we leave, I want to make a couple announcements before we leave. We all know, especially for the folks who are a part of the Chicago area, I've been keeping up with the trial with the immigrants and all that stuff, and Mr. Blakemore. Mr. Blakemore's trial is going to be the 11th. That is this Thursday. So if you guys are available, it's very important that you guys show up, that we show up to support Mr. Blakemore, because he was falsely arrested for trying to protest for the Black community against the migrant invasion. The address, and I'm going to put this on my social media a little bit closer to the date. The address is 3150 West Florinor Street. 3150 West Florinor Street in Chicago, and it starts at 9 a.m. I'm going to have additional reminders, but this is the only live I'm going to have before Thursday. So this is going to be your reminder. Exactly. Free Blakemore. So for all of the Chicago folk, it's important that we show up, and because that is like almost like a character witness representing him. Let me put that in the chat room real quick. Let me put it in the chat room real quick. I'm also going to put this, if you're following me on my social media, I'm also going to put this on my social media too. I think it's Florinay. I said Florinor. I think it's Florinay. Okay. This is the time, and it's going to start at 9 a.m. So this is the address. So you guys can, you already put it on there. Or Florinor. Okay, she might have misspelled it. I don't know. That's what I have. But you can Google it. You can Google it and look it up. I'm gonna put the address up there a little bit later on my social media. All right. So it's good to do that. Another thing, we had a very big sale last week. I sincerely appreciate every single last one of you guys. Sincerely, I really, really do, for supporting the sale. We got this new logo right here. You guys came out, supported it, loved the FBA shirts and all of that. I tremendously appreciate that. You said 9 a.m. Yep, 9 a.m. All right. Another thing, speaking of FBA, brothers and sisters, bam, check this out. Yep, it's official. My brothers and my sisters, yes, indeed, it is official. The Rally for Reparations Juneteenth event going on. It's a Juneteenth celebration, Rally for Reparations. We're going to be out there. It's going to be massive amounts of people. It's going to be the summertime. Everybody's going to love it. It's going to be a phenomenal event. There's not going to be not only a bigger Juneteenth event. There's not only going to be not a bigger Juneteenth event. There's not going to be a bigger event this year. This is going to be the biggest event this year, period. Everybody needs to come out. Everybody needs to bring the family. Now, before, when we had the reparations rally a couple years ago, it was kind of last minute. So a lot of people were rushing to come. It was really last minute. But this time we got a couple of months, because this is in the middle of June and we're in the beginning of April. So you got a couple months. A lot of people get to kind of book their hotels, book their flights, and, arrange their work schedule and everything like that. It is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Okay, and I'm going to be a speaker, y'all. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to be a speaker. I want to send a personal shout out and thank you to our good brother Tariq Nasheed. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity that most people don't be able to get. So thank you to our good brother Tariq. Shout out to Tariq. Much respect. And additionally, shout out to every single last one of you guys, because I saw when Tariq was asking, like, who do y'all want to be at the rally? Who do y'all think should speak? Who do y'all think should speak? A lot of y'all was saying, oh, I want Afro Elite to speak. I want Afro to be there. I want Afro to be there. Now, all of these people have spoke at the one before, except me and Black Alpha. You see, Black Alpha is on the thing as well too. So shout out to our brother Black Alpha for for grinding in the community and being an activist for his people. So, and he was able to speak as well too. So me and him, as far as the lineup, and we still have more names pending, and that's all I can say. We still have more names pending and stuff like that. But as far as it, me and Black Alpha are the only new speakers. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say, because a lot of people are like, man, Afro Elite's got to be there and everything like that. So it lets me know that you guys see, you guys appreciate what I do. I don't even know. I didn't come up with a script of this. So I'm almost at a loss of words, to be honest. But it lets me know that you guys recognize what I do beyond entertainment. You know, it's not like, oh, Afro, he cool. You know what I'm saying? I like listening to YouTube. It's not infotainment. Like, you guys really see me for the activist that I am. And that really does mean a lot, because that means I'm doing what I'm trying to do. That means I'm doing what I'm supposed to be out here doing. I'm not just every so often I got an opinion and I just, got something on my chest and I want to say something on my chest, and no disrespect to those who are. But I'm out here really sincerely trying to make a difference. And the fact that you guys recognize that is very humbling. And I'm very appreciative to every single last one of you brothers and sisters for that. Because this is an incredibly massive, massive, massive opportunity. So thank you guys for that. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. I'm very humbled. It's so much to say. Thank you guys for that. But you guys definitely need to make sure that you guys show up. You guys bring your family. Also, too, we are going to need volunteers as well, too. So the I'm already having people hit me up about volunteering, because a lot of people volunteered at the one before and then at the expo. So if you guys want to do that, you guys can go to Rally4, that's the number 4, rally4reparations.com, and there's like a volunteer sign up thing, and you guys can sign up so you guys can volunteer. And there's a donation thing, so you guys can donate, because this stuff takes a lot of money. The equipment, the security, booking the venue, all of that stuff takes a lot of money to do that. People preparing, that means they got to take time off to do other things. It takes a lot of money to do that. So the community coming together for this, because we're not just going to be out there partying and all of that stuff. We're going to be out there actually representing for the actual culture, representing for the community. So it's very, very, very important that we come together and in every way we can find a way to show up physically, or find a way to donate and to be a part of this history in the making. It's very important. Okay. Shout out to our good brother Hurricane IQ says, the shot is coming to DC. Yes, exactly. Chicago will be representing. Chicago is going to represent in DC in June. It says, congratulations, Afro Elite. Thank you so much. Thank you. And shout out to everybody. Thank you very much. And for the super chat. And shout out to everybody. I had some people call me to congratulate me when they saw the flyer. A lot of people messaged me, man, like, I'm so proud of you. I can't wait, and all of that stuff. A lot of people were congratulating me. Thank you guys so sincerely, so very much for that. I sincerely appreciate it. Also, don't forget about Mr. Blakemore this Thursday, because I'm not going to be able to go live again. I'm going to put it on my social media, my community, Twitter, Instagram, but so you guys stay tuned for that. All right. We got to show up. With that being said, make sure you guys follow me on my various social media platforms. Okay, that's Afro Elite on Instagram, and then The Afro Elite on Twitter. Afro Elite on Instagram, The Afro Elite on Twitter. All right. Follow me on my various social media platforms. All right. In the links to both of those are in the description, so it's easy for you. Just click the link and follow if you guys haven't done so. Also, please make sure that you guys like this video. Please make sure you guys like this video. Hit that subscribe button. Double check to make sure that you guys are subscribed, because just double check. Now, I don't want to say anything because I've already gotten back and forth with YouTube about it. They say that they don't unsubscribe people. So, okay. But just double check. Just double check for real. And hit that notification bell and double check to make sure that notification button is hit too. Double check with that too. You know what I'm saying? Because with certain channels, you don't ever have to double check. And then certain channels, you do got to double check all the time. Before we get out of here, we got another super chat. I guess our last super chat, which is Antithesis, who also sent a cash app. Appreciate you. For the culture. Hashtag for the culture, y'all. Hashtag for the culture. Thank you very much. For the culture is for now history in the making. History in the making. Thank you so very much for that. Now, with that being said, my brothers and my sisters, be one salute to every single last one of you all. And of course, you all have a good one.